Brandon Ingram skips voluntary workouts in California. What does that mean for the Pelicans? What does that mean with his status with the team? Let's find out. It's Pelicans Scoop right now. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host, Jordan Kitchens. Stop what you're doing. You already know. Stop what you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe already. Smash that like button. We're gonna start a discourse today. Brandon Ingram. Everybody's do I want to call him the black sheep of the team at this point, man? You know, that role was with Zion for his first couple of years until CJ McCollum got on the team. That role with the black sheep. But Brandon Ingram. So stop beating around the bush. Reported by Fear the Brown on Twitter the other day that, you know, the Pelicans, they have their, I guess you can call it annual now. The team gets together in the offseason right before the season starts. They go out and train. I'm pretty sure it's always in Cali, but they're in Cali this year. You know, they go out there. They go have some runs, you know, get that team chemistry going right before the season. Well, right before training camp, not before the season. Just to everybody familiarize themselves with each other, especially with DeJounte Murray, a big addition like that. You know, he's been kind of like the unsung hero of the offseason a little bit. If y'all have been paying attention, he's been getting everybody together. I seen Chris Connor on Twitter also. He was basically saying like how DeJounte got Herb Jones. Everybody know how Herb Jones, he's not that type. He's not an outside guy. You're not going to catch Herb Jones in the club. DeJounte Murray got Herb Jones in the club. I saw the picture and I just could not believe it. Could not believe what I'm seeing with my own eyes. Not only did he do that, he also, he trained with CJ, Jose. I don't know what he's doing. He's like bringing everybody together right now. He's kind of like pulling the Avengers together. And matter of fact, when he first got to the team for his introductory press conference, who was the only player there, front and center? Zion Williamson. Zion, yeah. The guy that CJ was like, I don't even know where he's at. I'm trying to get in touch with him. He's not responding to my text. That same guy was at front and center, dolo, by himself. Pretty sure he had slippers on, so he was really chilling at DeJounte Murray's press conference. So with that being said, you see what they have going on. Pelicans posted some pictures too the other day. Looked like they're having a grand old time. But there was one guy, well, it's another guy too, but there was one really important person that was not there in attendance. And that was Brandon Ingram. And if y'all know, he's having I guess you can call it a dispute at this point with the Pelicans, a contract dispute about his future with the team. You know, he only has 1 year left on his deal. But the problem, okay, no matter how you want to look at it, yes, everybody deserves the money. Everybody needs to get paid. Like, that's how this thing goes. You do not let these owners sit there and take advantage of you. Try and get every little ounce, because once the game's over with, it's over with. So get every little dime you can, or as pro players. But it's a little challenging, guys. It's a little challenging because if you know, I guess they do it in the NBA too, but NFL more recently to speak of the NFL, you know, like CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, top receivers, top players that want to get a new contract, they're gonna sit out, they're gonna skip things, you know, they're gonna make it known that they're not happy with you're not happy with the way it's going right now with the contract talks. So this, on the other hand, this is like, okay, yeah, it's voluntary workouts. It's not mandatory. You know, it's not, he doesn't have to be there. Brandon Ingram has enough cachet on the team where it's like, we know what Brandon Ingram is. We know it's okay. He doesn't have to be here. He's not some new face. So it's not like a new team. It's some relatively new pieces, but this is not a brand new team. So I get it. You can look at it like that too. But also, everybody's there but him. You know, that's a little, gotta call it what you see. Gotta call it what you see. And it really didn't have to get to this point. It really didn't have to get to this point because now it's smoke. There's smoke. Regardless, you're going to be like, well, it's not that big of a deal. If he still shows up to training camp, that's fine. That's true. He can still show up to training camp, everything, but there's still smoke in the air. And when there's smoke, there's fire. Now, I don't know what's finna happen because at the end of the day, the NBA has also spoken about Brandon Ingram. Nobody else has came in and wanted to offer him a max contract. Nobody has even came out. Yeah, some couple talks during the offseason, but those never fell through. Those never fell through. They're talking about trade him to the Kings and all this. They end up getting DeRozan. So, that's not going to happen. Nobody stepped up to the plate to be like, we want Brandon Ingram. We will do anything to get, we want to take him off your hands. Nobody has done that. So the NBA has spoken too. It's not just us. Is this going to become a chemistry problem for the team? Is this going to bleed into the season that this is going to get ugly, cause a toxic situation when it really didn't even have to get to this point? You could have been, if you felt like he wasn't worth the penny that he's asking for, or you felt like there was not going to be any type of give, or you feel like he's going to back down, all right, whatever, I'm going to just, he possibly could do that. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't even know what he's asking for. But we have some examples of what it could be. So Brandon Ingram, current contract, he's on a 5-year deal for $158 million. So obviously, if he wants a new contract, he wants to bump up that $158 million. And I grabbed about four players. I really didn't want to do, rookies that are getting a rookie extension that have been with the team. Like those numbers are a little skewed. Like, the Jason Tatum deal, Jaylen Brown, Franz Wagner. Those deals are going to be a little juicier because they were drafted by that team. And, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, those are not the rookie extension, but Franz Wagner's got his rookie extension and his contract's ridiculous. So, OG Anunoby, forward. I'm not going to call him a small forward. He's a forward for the New York Knicks. He was a free agent. He declined his contract and wanted to enter free agency. They signed him to a 5-year, $212 million contract. Well, deal. That's not happening. All right, we can already nip that in the bud. Brandon Ingram is not going to get a 5-year, $212 million deal. That's just not going to happen. I don't even think OG Anunoby's worth that money, but the NBA money is different. Anybody can make $200 million at this point, and I just don't feel like Brandon Ingram's a $200 million player. So Pascal Siakam, he's not a small forward, but he's still a forward. He signed a 4-year deal for $188 million with the Pacers this season. It's a bump up from 158. Is B.I. looking for money like that? Or Kevin Durant? Well, Kevin Durant's a little bit more. 4 years, $194 million. But these are numbers higher than 158. So he wants more than 158. Where does he land though? What is he looking for? At what point do the Pelicans say, you know what, we can make this work? Or you know what, this is just not gonna happen, man. Because at this point, he's showed you that he's disgruntled. He might not have came out and really spoke, but there's smoke. You can see the smoke coming. It's not on fire yet. There's no gasoline on the fire yet, but there's smoke. So what does this mean when the season actually starts and you have a disgruntled star player that wants out? I'm not saying Brandon Ingram's your typical James Harden. He might not get fat real quick in Houston, eat a bunch of honey buns, get caught in the club, let some of that drop, skip a couple games, and I'm out of town. They ship him out of town. I don't know if Brandon Ingram, he cares about ball. That's one thing I can say. He cares about ball. All right, the money and all that, obviously that comes with it, but he cares about ball. So I don't think he'll take a James Harden approach with it and just, mail it in, pack it in, ship me out, get me out of here. But what do you do, Griff? Because Trey Murphy his contract is still looming too. So you can't sign him to a $212 million deal because you got another guy hiding in the wings who needs another deal too. So, man, it's just in a season that the Pelicans really need to come together, it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky start right now. It's a little shaky. I'm not sitting there saying the wheels are falling off. But we might need to check the brakes a little bit. My brakes getting caught. The brakes getting caught. That's what I say. The brakes are getting caught right now. Another thing is when you really look at the minor details, when you dive into the nitty-gritty, the minor details of it, he kind of could strong arm us to giving him that type of deal, man. It's getting to a point that other teams are just not trying to sign him. They're not calling. They'd rather wait for him to hit the open market and give him what they want to give him than sit there and try and work out a deal, make a trade, do all this. So it's getting to the point where he can kind of strong arm the Pelicans to be like, hey, man, it's either pay me or lose me for nothing. That clock is ticking. That's why I said the smoke. That clock is ticking. So if Brandon Ingram's going to play that game, all you can really do is respect it. Let him get his money. So we're just going to see how all things play out, man. Thank you guys for staying in, tuning in for another episode of the Pelicans Scoop. Hit that notification button, smash that like button, comment, let me know. Y'all rocking with me, I'm rocking with y'all. We just gonna see, man. I hate leaving episodes on cliffhangers like this, but I just had to report it, bro, because when there's smoke, there's fire. So we shall see. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Pelicans Scoop. I am your host, Jordan Kitchens. It's been a pleasure. Peace.